Hey tribe, have you ever caught yourself saying things like, I'm just overreacting, or maybe it didn't happen the way I think it did, or you told yourself off for overrejoicing about a good thing? If so, you, my friend, might be gaslighting yourself. Now, most of us, when we hear the word gaslighting, we think of toxic partners, narcissistic other humans, manipulative bosses, or controlling friends and family. But the hard truth is that sometimes the person twisting your reality isn't out there, it's you. This can show up in really subtle ways. For example, you tell yourself, oh no, I'm being overdramatic or I'm overly sensitive when you feel upset about certain things, or you question whether events happened the way you remember, or you compare your situation to others and tell yourself, oh no, mine isn't that bad. Or you assume mistreatment by others must be your fault. These are all signs that you might be gaslighting yourselves. You beat yourself up for feeling hurt. You second guess yourself every time you make a decision. You trust other people's opinion more than your own. And in situations which can bring conflicts, you automatically take the blame. Whatever the reason, whether it's a habit formed from childhood or a culturally conditioned coping mechanism to avoid conflict or suppress emotions, or a belief you've internalized over time, the result is the same. You stop trusting yourself. In this video, I'm going to break down 3 of the most common ways you might be knowingly or unknowingly gaslighting yourself. We are going to discuss how to spot it, and most importantly, what you can do to fix it. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit to start validating your emotions and reclaiming your reality.
This is Soul Sense Empowerment by Estar. Heal your mind and body. Elevate your spirit. Empower you.
Okay, let's start with the basics. What's gaslighting? Gaslighting is a form of manipulation or emotional abuse where someone tries to make you doubt your own reality, your thoughts, your feelings, your memories. Most of us have done it to others, and it has been done to us. In relationships or friendships, it might sound something like someone saying to you, you are overreacting, that never happened, or you are too sensitive, or you are imagining things. However, when you start repeating these same lines to yourself, you are reinforcing the very patterns that keep you stuck in a loop of second-guessing yourself, therefore gaslighting yourself. Self-gaslighting isn't always malicious, because gaslighting is usually associated with being malicious. Sometimes it's a way your mind tries to protect you from discomfort or rejection. The trouble is, however, every time you do it, it chips away at your confidence, your mental health, and your ability to trust your own judgment. Let's look at some of the most common signs that you might be gaslighting yourself. Number 1, minimizing your own feelings. This is when you have an emotional reaction to something. Maybe you're frustrated, you're sad, you're disappointed, or even happy about something. And your immediate response is, this is not a big deal. I shouldn't feel like this. Or other people have it worse. Or it's too good to be true. So imagine yourself in a situation where you've had a horrible day at work. Your boss dismisses your ideas, or a colleague takes credit for your work, or the project you've been working on is canned. You start to vent to a friend, but halfway through the conversation, you say, never mind, I'm probably being overdramatic. In that moment, you're telling yourself that your feelings aren't valid before you even process them. And over time, this will teach your brain that your emotional responses don't matter. Remember, you are wonderfully made and your emotions and feelings are valid. How do you fix this? So next time you catch yourself downplaying your feelings, pause and say to yourself, this feeling is real, even if I don't fully understand it yet. That simple reframing is the first step to rebuilding trust in your own emotions. Number 2, questioning your memory or perception of events. For example, you remember a conversation clearly you had with someone, maybe somebody, a friend or family member, promised you something, or they made a hurtful comment. Then you bring it up in a conversation and they say something like, hey, that never happened, or I don't remember it that way. And then you start second guessing yourself. Here's where gaslighting kicks in. You start thinking, maybe I misheard, or maybe I'm actually overreacting, or maybe I actually had this conversation with someone else. Or worse, you start thinking, maybe this actually never happened. I had this conversation in my own head. When you do this repeatedly, you gradually destroy your trust in your own mind. That's a big gaslighting. So a quick fix to this is keep a simple record of events, like a journal or voice notes or even a text to yourself. This is not, I repeat, not about gathering evidence to prove someone wrong. It's about affirming, I trust my perspective enough to record it. Journaling is a practice of writing down your thoughts, your feelings, or your experiences. For example, in that example that I gave above, if you had a conversation with a friend or someone and it bothered you, journaling about it is a form of self-expression and reflection that can offer numerous benefits for your mental and emotional well-being. So if you bring it up again and someone says it never happened, you have a record. And this can help to reduce your stress levels, increase self-awareness, and improve your own emotional regulations. Sign number 3, constantly apologizing. If you are saying sorry dozen times a day for things that aren't your fault, is a red flag. For example, you bumped into someone in the shop, you apologize. By the way, this is a very British way of life, and sometimes it almost means nothing. However, when, for example, a friend cancels plans to meet with you, you apologize. Or if you ask a basic question at work and still you're apologizing. Often this is a learned behavior to avoid conflict, like preemptive. But on a deeper level, it's sending yourself the message, my presence, my opinions, they're a problem. A quick way to fix this is how about replacing the sorry with thank you? Instead of sorry, I'm late, you say something like, thank you for waiting. Or instead of saying sorry for asking, becomes, thank you for explaining this to me. It shifts the tone from guilt to gratitude. And this is surprisingly empowering. As we all know, gratitude is empowering. But if you bump into someone in the supermarket, I think that's a straight up apology. Now, here's a real key to stopping self-gaslighting, developing awareness of your own thoughts and behavior patterns. Try keeping a journal, as I said, dedicated, though, to spotting gaslighting patterns you are doing to yourself. Every time you notice one, write it down. Don't try to suppress the thought or the emotions that come with it. That usually makes it come back stronger. Just acknowledge it without judgment, then respond with a grounding affirmation. Like, for example, I can trust my experiences and feelings about this situation, even if they're not perfect. Or you can reinforce to yourself that feelings aren't always facts. These simple habits will help you step out of autopilot and into self-awareness. Now, if you want a bit of help or a bit of extra help with self-awareness, I've created the ultimate self-awareness kit. I'll have the details in the description below. Another essential thing is self-compassion. Speak to yourself as you would a friend, with patience, with kindness, and understanding. If you catch yourself saying things like, I shouldn't be upset about this, ask yourself, says who? Who says this? Would I say that to someone I care about? Probably not. And if you wouldn't say it to them, you shouldn't be saying it to yourself. Otherwise, you're just gaslighting yourself and invalidating your own feelings. Think more self-kindness and less self-judgment. Gaslighting, whether from others or from yourself, is not about one-off moments, it's about patterns. And patterns shape reality. If you repeatedly tell yourself your feelings are invalid, your memory is faulty, or your presence is a burden, eventually you'll start to live like that is true. Breaking that cycle starts with awareness, self-awareness. It also starts with compassion, self-compassion, and the choice to trust yourself. So catch your thoughts, challenge them without judgment, and then choose kinder way of addressing them. Choose kinder words. So, tribe, those are the 3 ways you might be gaslighting yourself, plus a few tools to start breaking free. Remember, your reality is valid, and your voice matters, and you deserve to trust yourself. So, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more self-empowering content and share this with someone in your tribe, someone you care about, someone you love. In gratitude, bye for now.